Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sahra.
And my name is Christine.
And today we are doing a part 2 of our previous episode that we shot in regards to why South Sudanese are not dating each other, or the struggles that we have with dating each other or trying to find a partner here in the diaspora. And we have a very, very special guest with us.
I thought you were going to say we have a special episode because remember,
right.
This would be the time.
This is, okay, you know what? We have a very special episode for you guys because we actually have the girl who sparked the conversation from TikTok. Her name is Nyanwe. We're going to introduce her. But we have her with us today, not in the studio. She's virtual in Canada, but she's going to be joining us and talking about, you know, why she created that video, what inspired her to create that video. Does she still have the same sentiments? We're going to get into all of that. But first, we're going to introduce our panel. So I'll let you introduce the panel, Christine.
Sure. So we can just go around the table. We have Janet back in the studio.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janet Akorkin. You can find me on all of my socials under my first and last name. And I'm just happy to be here again.
Always happy to have you. And to her right is my cousin. We haven't had you in a few months now, have we?
Since November, yeah.
I hope that you'll be a regular here soon.
Same, now that you're in Dallas.
Yourself.
Whoa. I haven't announced that yet. But
my bad.
I can
cut it out. Yeah.
No, it's cool. Everyone knows now. Hi. I'm Cynthia. My handle is Magnificent Fits on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. Yay. Excited to have you. We have another special guest that we haven't seen in the studio for a while. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What is good, y'all? It's your favorite aspiring physical therapist. It's Edward, the Fresh Prince of South Sudan. I'm glad to be back.
We love it.
Very fresh.
It's been a while, but
Mr. Viral himself.
Yes.
We got to get into that.
We're going to get into that in a second. But fit check. Love the fit. Please,
I'm rocking the FUBU today for us.
Show us, please. Show us.
It's always the 90s vibes. Like,
shoe. You got to get the shoe cam.
Yes.
Yeah. For the full look. Okay.
Love it.
It's regular.
I love that about you. Your fashion is always like, I just feel like the 90s era, like you eat that up every time.
Do they even still sell that shirt?
That's what I asked them. I was like, how did you get a FUBU?
I got this online through an app called Depop. So it's like online thrifting.
We love that you don't gatekeep. Thank you.
Yes. They owe you.
He don't have to gatekeep. They ain't gonna find it.
That's true. That's like one of one. All right. Then we have Vaida here with us as well. Vaida, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, it's Vaida. I'm glad to be back for another episode. Yeah.
Love it. Always happy to have you. And last but never least, Amanual.
He's on the couch today.
Yeah.
What's good? I'm here.
Yeah.
All right. I like the shirt, Amanual. And then we have our special guest all the way from Canada, and her name is Nyanwe. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Nyanwe. It's Lucky London on all platforms.
Yay. Okay. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. I know when your video went viral, right? So semi-viral in the South Sudanese community. And let's give our audience context because, you know, just in case you're not aware, you didn't watch the last episode, but you should go back and watch it. We talked about the struggles of, you know, South Sudanese people finding love within the diaspora. And we used Nyanwe's video where she kind of highlighted certain reasons why she wouldn't personally date a South Sudanese guy. And some of those reasons were South Sudanese men they're trappers, street life. He said street life. What else was there? But you know, we'll let you kind of go over what you said. But go ahead and tell us like what made you say like, you know what, it's time for me to speak my mind and say why I'm not going to date a South Sudanese guy.
Okay, so it started off as a story time that was Run from Sudanese Men. That was the title of it. And it was just, I met a Sudanese man. I just told him, I don't really date Sudanos like that. And he got really upset. And he was just insulting me and whatnot. So I just made the story. It's on my TikTok. And then in the comments, everyone was saying, okay, well, you're not actually saying why I don't date South Sudanese. You want to know why you don't date them. So I said, okay, I'll make a video on why I don't date them. And then that's when I made that one. And then everybody saw it. Everyone saw it. And that was it.
What was the response that
Yeah.
you got from it when you originally posted it?
It was like 50-50. It was 50-50 at first. At first, a lot of people liked it, you know, because I know in Canada, at least where I live in Ontario, a lot of us ladies, we have the similar experience with the men, and they're all very alike as the ones that we're exposed to, right? Like they all, you know, they want to be in the streets, right? And it's hard when we're not. And they didn't like it. The men did. They got really upset, called me all kinds of names. They dragged me through the mud. They were really disrespectful. But the women, they're okay with it.
Okay.
Did you get any feedback from like family members or like elders in the community?
Yeah, they loved it. They loved it. All the others loved it.
That's surprising. So the elders actually agreed?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, because a lot of young men right now, they're passing away from the street life.
Yeah.
Right? We lost a lot of brothers and a lot of sons to it. And then it needs to stop. Like, it's not taking us anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's good that you noted that you're in Canada. And because I remember asking that when we first talked about it, I was like, where does she live? Like, does she or does she live in Australia or in America? Because every diaspora, whether you're in Canada, Australia, America, there is certain differences. Because I personally don't like relate to the like South Sudanese trappers. I'm like, where are they at in Dallas? You know, like I haven't personally seen that, but I know that
They're here.
They're here.
It's more in the Midwest.
Yeah, I think it's more of the Midwest.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too close to it, but like it's just like a lot of family members and people that I know that I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Okay.
But
yeah.
they left. They're truck drivers now.
Well, that's good. Honest living. So, can you touch a little bit about that, like the experience in Canada? Like, is there? I want to be careful because we don't want to paint everybody in a broad brush. But do you feel like that there is a problem with like gang violence or just taking the wrong path as South Sudanese or Sudanese?
Yeah, there is. It sucks. Like, it's really awful. Like, you could go, you know, in Calgary, they have their own problems. Ontario, we have our problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
In BC, no. But Calgary and Ontario, like, it's bad. And it starts off. It used to be like, you know, when we came to Canada and whatnot, it was like 2000s, right? So it's quite rare. But as things are going on and music videos and rap and drill life, those are like influences on the young men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they see their brothers doing it, they watch it on TV and their favorite rappers doing it, it's just falling down the line, right?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So I think you mentioned that you've had a change of heart since getting all the feedback and everything like that. So kind of what prompted that and what are your views now, like post the video getting all the traction that it did?
Well, I know every single Sudanese man is not a bad guy. I know that. I know that, you know, and people don't think I know that, but it's just the fact that like I would 100% date a Sudanese guy, you know, and I've met a few nice ones and a few gentlemen, you know, but it's hard, but I'll date a Sudanese guy. I'll marry one. Why not?
Yeah. And piggybacking off of Christine's question, you said that you did get feedback from people in the community. And what was that feedback? Like, what did they tell you, or what did they speak on as far as your commentary on, you know, South Sudanese men and dating? What did they?
Negative or positive?
Yes.
Which one do you want her to start with?
It was
Both. It was positive.
Positive. Okay.
Yeah. They actually told me to keep going, keep posting videos. And I also talk about that with the daughters and like, you know, how our parents don't really prioritize us as much sometimes. We can feel that way, that back home is the number one priority, you know, but they told me to keep talking about it because everyone's afraid of shame and embarrassment in the community, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Keep posting videos, and who cares if they get mad?
Yeah.
I want to ask the panel. She just made a comment about like ladies and how the community is usually harder on women. Do you guys feel like that's true, or kind of any feedback on that?
I agree. I remember you guys' last video. I want to say Christine, you might have mentioned about how like our upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say not necessarily mine. Yeah, mine too. I think as young girls, you're taught to like cook and clean and you do certain things which you think is normal in the Sudanese community. But once you mess up, it's like, if you mess up, you do this, like you'll never find a husband or nobody will want you.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's instilled in us when we're really, really young girls.
Yeah.
To where now you're an adult, out of the blue, it's like, oh, where's your husband?
Right.
Do you feel like the community is harder on women as opposed to men? Because Sarah, you said in the last episode that South Sudanese men are coddled. And I feel like a lot of people have those sentiments. Do you see any truth to that?
Absolutely. I have brothers.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly. And when we say that, we're not even just talking about dating. We see it with our male, like, family members, our cousins. Like, we see it, on a day-to-day basis. So
I just thought about that as an older sister, and I have a younger brother. He is spoiled, and it's kind of partly my fault too, as the older, the eldest daughter, the eldest sibling. So that is true, and I feel like that can hurt them as they get older, even though that's not the intention.
Yes.
When they're younger, you're like, oh, I don't want to be hard on him. I don't want to give him a hard time, like, because you love him so much. But when you get older and you see, okay, like, they're struggling in this department, maybe we should have been harder on them when it comes to certain life skills that they're going to need, whether they have a wife or not.
Yes, because if your mom and your sisters coddle you, that's one thing, but you can't expect a partner to do that. And then you might resent your partner for not, kind of doing the same things that you're used to, because that's not our job. And you shouldn't be coddled. Nobody, like, neither gender should be coddled. But I think there's just a lot more pressure on women in the South Sudanese community.
And jump in there whenever you want to.
You're in the panel.
I wanted to ask you, do you have any males in your family? Do you have any brothers or anything like that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, are they younger or older? And what does that dynamic look like?
Well, younger. I have a sibling in Africa, a brother there, and I have my brother at home. So my brother at home, he's one of 5 girls. So he's only boy and 5 girls, right? So for him, he did have it. I would say it was quite easier, but not, because at the end of the day, everyone has their struggles, right? But he wasn't told to cook and clean and do all these things and take care of the kids. Like, he didn't have as much responsibilities as the women, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask the panel, and especially the men, how y'all felt about the video, the original TikTok video that she made, in regards to, the grievances that some women have, or a lot of women have, I would say, with South Sudanese men in the diaspora. How did y'all feel initially and now? You can be honest.
Amanual, you were actually on that episode.
Yes.
And people were commenting saying you should have had more reinforcement.
Yeah.
As far as guys.
They did.
I don't know. For me, it's like the term, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. So for me, I was like, look, I wouldn't coddle. I had to take care of kids when I was younger. I had to cook and clean because I was the oldest automatically. I didn't have sisters up until after my brother Juju. So I wasn't too worried about that. And then my sisters, when they did get older and I was like doing what I'm doing, they had responsibilities that they put on them. But I think my father was one of those dads that he wanted his daughters to do more than just be a housewife. And he hated whenever somebody would bring up the idea of marriage or anything like that about his daughters. So for him, it was never a conversation about, when your daughter's looking to be married and marriage is the goal. No, my dad was like, my daughters have to go to college because this nigga didn't go to college. So it's like, he was always like that with my sisters. I mean, he was hard on all of us because his expectations were like, yo, me and your mom, we didn't have our parents since we were 8 and 11 years old. So he knew what it was to have all responsibilities put on you, because he was 11 years old working in Khartoum and doing all this different stuff for his mom and helping her while she was mourning the death of her husband. And then he had all his siblings. So my dad never really cared for gender roles when it comes to the Sudanese community. Now, he expects you to play your role, but he doesn't expect you to let somebody else tell you what you should be doing and how you should be doing that. So,
okay. Were you offended by the commentary?
And that ain't got nothing to do with me, because here's the problem. It's like 50-50 for me, because I know that there are some Sudanese men that are just like that have died from that, and that have gone through that. So for me, I've already had the heartbreak of the street life. But I think in general, that's just most black men, right? In the Western world, we're in a society where we either choose to go a certain way or go another way, and it's all about environment. I was lucky to have 2 parents in my household. I was lucky to have the parents that I had. these young men, they don't have that kind of opportunity, and especially how you see it develop. Like they have their dads in Africa, and the dads are thinking to themselves, "Oh no, I could leave them in the hood. It's America. It's a better opportunity." But it's not that case.
Yeah.
And the difference between how women approach things, especially in this country, especially for Black women, you're going to be more educated and more likely to have the path to go there than a Black man is, because like at the end of the day, it's you got to provide and protect, baby.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? You're in between that line. But I don't give them an excuse, because it's your fault. Like you gotta kind of get out of it, and you gotta, in the words of the Republicans, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I said it.
Edward.
We want to hear how you
can
felt
add to
about
that.
it.
But yeah, the video, I had no problem with the video at all, because the thing is, especially when it comes to street life, us as Sudanese people, we come to this country and we're supposed to be doing better for ourselves, but it's sad that some of us go ahead and want to adopt something that we're not, and just trying to fit in and wanting to do that. But it depends on, it's by case. So depending on where you go, maybe that's all you can do or how you can survive. So I'm not judging anyone or doing anything, but you can control that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have a choice to want to be better.
Right.
You don't want to be stuck in the same situation. You can elevate from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because I'm one of 5, 4 boys, 1 girl. And so growing up, there was always of course a standard, and my parents, of course, did an amazing job, and they always expect the best of us. I wouldn't say I was coddled, but I know that there was, like I said already, a standard that was set ahead of me. And so a constant reminder of what my parents had went through, and it was very inspiring and encouraging. So thanks, Al, Mitri, and Lostika Alfred. I love you guys so much.
I love that.
They did such a good job with you.
It shows.
Yeah.
But you can tell that like the ones that were coddled and the ones that were shown like, how to like make a way for yourself.
Yeah, no, because my father, I'll always brag about him. My mom too, because they work very hard, and my dad, he works very hard. The family, he's holding it down. Like I'll always say, like he's the reason that I'm here, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
And so the example he has set aside for me and the rest of my siblings, and just for the family in general, is something that I can never take for granted. And so it's always a constant reminder for me to really be better and do good for the Mitri name. So
and I just want to brag on Edward for a second. I don't want to put your business out there, but we were talking before we recorded it, and he's like in school, he's doing an internship, he's working 2 jobs, he's serving in the church, girl. So I'm just like, wow, this is the example that I feel like others should follow, especially when you talk about men in the community. Someone that you can emulate who, like, he just went viral also. I don't know. We're going to put the clip right here.
Are we talking about it?
Yes, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. He went viral, like so viral.
Is this where you're going to put the video on?
Yeah. And then, and the only thing I can think about was like, he's actually a good man. Like he's actually a good person. Yeah. The video was basically the Dallas Running Club. 2 different women made a TikTok about him without his knowledge, just like off guard.
How was the DMs, my brother in Christ?
Yes. Please tell us about the whole experience. Like you just wake up and you're viral.
So the thing is, that was my first time actually going to the Run Club when that first clip had dropped. And so I was already running on my own. I know I love fitness, fit guy, all that stuff. And so I was like, let me go to the Run Club. The community is great. The energy is awesome. If you have a time, go to the Run Club. They run like 3 days a week. It's awesome. So I go that Tuesday because I was off of work. So I'm like, man, this is great. Got my 3 miles in, all that good stuff. I go home. One of the people that I saw over there, I didn't even see the clip. It was sent to me. I'm like, oh man, this is funny. He's part of the Run Club now. That's awesome. I'm glad I could inspire people. I think at that time it was like 143 views. Cool. When I tell you the next day, my name was commented so many times. I'm looking at my messages. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Everyone and their mom is. My friend's mom was saying, "Is this Edward?"
People were sending it to
they were sending it.
Oh my god, look, Edward!
Man, what? The other day I was like, "Well, this thing's at 17 million views." I was just closing my fitness app on my Apple Watch.
That's crazy.
And it's always the natural video that get a lot of traction because y'all weren't even doing too much. You just made a video of y'all walking and y'all were smiling and like
he was just being
black boy joy and the melanin and were you wearing a t-shirt? You didn't have a t-shirt.
I just had a tank top and a water vest.
Okay.
Was
thank
the
you
red
for finally
outfit,
repping.
all red?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
there was one. It was two. I had one with a white tank and blue sweats, and then
there was
Yeah,
two.
there was two separate videos.
Oh wow.
Edward, I'd like to thank you for making Sudanese men look
Listen,
good.
I'm putting this on the
Because we-
map.
That's why I
Putting
wanted to
this on
bring
the
it
Respect
back.
us. Y'all thought it was just a basketball team? We everywhere. Stop playing. What?
Talk that talk.
They call
Period.
man. Come on, bro.
But
Iowa.
that video was so Edward though. Like Edward,
Yes.
the way that you were just smiling and laughing, like I was like, that is just so Edward. That's just you naturally every day.
To be a little shady. Why didn't you put Edward in the list?
Edward don't.
I was looking for pictures of him. Edward has all his pictures on private.
Listen, social
when I
media's
tell
not a
you,
real
I
place.
felt
I have
like
no
I felt
posts.
kind of creepy because I was like, oh,
was
Edward's like
stalking.
my brother. I was like, if I can't find nothing, let me just let it go.
Because I did that too, the
I
first
was on
time.
Facebook. With
Y'all
I
have
was
him on
like,
DM. You can just see like, hey, Edward, we need some pictures of you. Why
No.
for it? Don't worry about
No,
it.
because when I was doing like the South Sudanese men, I was trying to find pictures. I could not find any pictures. I felt like a stalker for real. Because
And which is
I was going to
crazy.
tagged pictures. Like I was like, at this point, this is too much.
Honestly, after you went viral like that, I would have popped out as an influencer
Me too.
immediately. Okay.
Thing is, I don't care about social media.
Y'all don't know how to capitalize. That's y'all problem. And that's why we're not
And
dating.
your pictures
South
are on
Sudanese
private.
men.
Wait,
You just
The
went
thing is,
viral?
I have no posts. It's zero
That's what I'm
posts.
saying. Like,
Wait,
it's
what,
nothing.
didn't you
Okay,
not promote your business?
I don't have a business either.
I thought you trained.
PT.
Oh yeah, I'm
It's
a
a
physical
physical therapist,
I'm a
yeah.
physical therapist student. You know what I'm saying? I work out with people when I
Man, PT, brother, I'm telling you, you go out with a program. You know what I'm saying?
So, ladies,
35.
like
if you're
you
in
have
the
a
Dallas
business now.
area and you got some bread.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
But I said all that to say, based on the past
Workouts on
conversation,
delivery.
at least we have a positive representation of like, not all South Sudanese guys. Like there's some out
Absolutely.
here that give us hope.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, there's
And I think-
a lot. There's a lot
I
more.
promise there's a lot more.
There's a lot more. But
There's a
I
lot
think
more.
a lot of them are busy working and making money and being successful
and focus on the
and
family.
like getting to their bag because like right now we're in the worst economic state that we've ever been. So like let's not pretend like it ain't hard out here. These brothers
Yeah.
working.
No,
Like
for real.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you guys, because I saw some comments that were saying, why don't you ladies help the men? Like if
I
they're
saw that too.
struggling,
Yeah.
why don't we help? Why don't we step up? Why don't we support? Why don't we?
don't save him? He don't want to be
Like,
saved.
come on, man.
I don't know, like what help do they want exactly, right? Until we can figure out what they want help with, we can't really help them. And on top of that, I think that there's also like a mental thing to it as well, because as women or the daughters, we did have it harder than they did, right? I think that's agree that we had it harder,
Yeah.
and nobody, right? So it's quite easy for someone who was never helped to be like, okay, well, I never was helped and I found a way, so why should I go help you?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Vida?
Like help a man like if he's like not on his feet, like
Yeah, the things that we were saying, the grievances that we were having, why don't we step up and help our men if we see that they're lacking in certain aspects?
no, I just feel like they just want a new mommy for the man. Like,
okay.
and if you're dating, I know if I'm dating somebody, I don't want to become their mother. I feel like there was something that failed at inception, and now we have to make up for that fact in the relationship. And I don't want to do that labor, so I ain't got no kids. I'm not trying to take on a man as a child.
A man
So I'm
child.
gonna say no. I feel like that person, they can still need help and get access to that help in whatever community they're a part of, but they're not ready to really be in a relationship if they are so vulnerable. I would say that shouldn't be the focus of their life at that time, in my opinion. So
No, that's
But
real.
I think with what Amanual said, with as far as like the factors that create men to be that way, maybe I think that's what they were talking about as far as helping men, like maybe addressing the factors as opposed to attacking the men. The factors
I think they
that
said,
help,
I think they
that
meant
make-
actually help as well. They're like, okay, why don't y'all? I'm going to clip the comment.
Yeah.
But I feel like I saw one. I don't know which one you saw, but they're saying like, okay, if that's the case, then step up and help. Like,
right.
The thing is, that goes back to a father figure.
Yeah, I was
That's
just
what
about to
I
say
asked.
that.
That goes
like
back to
the
a father
men,
figure, because I
where are the
mean,
men?
you're asking a woman to help a man. Like we're two different people biologically, if we're keeping it real. So when it comes down to it, I mean, yeah, I would love to hear from my mom or a woman that I care for. Like, yeah, encourage me. But then there's certain, you know how it is with guys. Like they reach to a guy on a different level.
Yeah.
So they're gonna encourage you and make sure you get your stuff right in a certain way that you will understand it.
It's not even encouragement. It's just tough love.
It's
to
just
your ass.
like-
stop being a pussy.
Like, lock in, bro. Step
like,
up.
yeah.
I want to explore it though, real quick. Like, is there ways that we could help? Because you said on the last episode too, Vida, like if South Sudanese, the only way South Sudanese can win is if all of us are winning, and that's men and women. Are there certain factors that maybe hinder South Sudanese men from accomplishing their goals or being at a certain level or being equal to South Sudanese women? Because I think the conversation was like South Sudanese women are excelling. We're doing great. We're flourishing. We're graduating college. We're getting good jobs or starting businesses. But where's our equals? Is there something that's missing as far as like, I don't want to say systematically or culturally, or something that we could help as far as that, not just men individually, the South Sudanese men individually.
I wanted to speak on, I know Edward talked about like upbringing. I don't know if it's a disconnect in the generations, because I see it even in like teaching when it comes to other cultures, like I know to the Sudanese men that maybe the father figures that we saw growing up, it's a little different now. Like we're the parents now, So I wonder if that played a part in how the kids or the youth now are going.
Yeah.
Because she mentioned, was it Nyanwer mentioned how like, you said in Canada, like the youth or the men are exposed to pop culture, right? The things they see are they're heavily influenced by the things they see in the community. But it made me think about like, what about like the Sudanese men in the communities? Like what are they doing?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned like, okay, what about us as women? Like, why should we have to be the ones to like teach a man how to be a man? Like, what about the Sudanese men in the community? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, like,
and the solution I might have for that is like,
mentorship.
I miss when Sudanese communities had like community centers, community-based activities and events. Granted, we're in a different time now, but it'd be dope to have a mental health, maybe a conference or a panel or something like where you can bring these men in. You don't have to be a 35-year-old man. You can be in your 20s, your 80s, your teens. Like you mentioned in an episode before too, Vaida, about like just not having access to like people who are older than you who can like bring you in and sit you down and say, hey, when it comes to dating, this is what you should expect, as a man and a woman. So I think going back to just having access to adults or, said men, in this case, who can come and kind of bring a brother under the shoulder and just, underneath them and like, hey, this is how it should be done, because we're going off rail.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out Dowdy before the accident that was happening. Him and my brother were working, and they were doing things with the kids, especially with the athletes that they were around, and they were pushing them and having conversations with them. But yeah, they were doing things with the groups. Like me, my brother. Like I have my little brother in my house all the time. So him, his friends, and my brother's always out there. And one of the things it's like just keeping your family close and keeping the young brothers around you. Because let me be honest with you, I've had cousins that have passed away from doing gang violence, overdose, stuff like that. And what I've learned is you just got to be in their ear. You got to be around them. You got to be there. And a lot of the times it just requires us as older men to just always constantly be like, yo, dog, you don't got to do this. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to always be the same thing. And it will get annoying. It'll get tiring, but you can't stop. Because I remember my dad was having this conversation. I didn't realize my dad was talking to as many kids as he was until recently when one of my cousins came. He was like, yeah, I had a conversation with your dad. And like, I just cried to him and I talked to him about what happened, and your dad prayed for me. And I was like, oh, okay. My pops has always been pops. He's always been doing that. But I didn't realize he was doing that until later on. And I remember he had a conversation with me. My other cousin, Riyadh, he's somewhere right now, but he's going to be getting out of that situation. But he was talking to me about how he walked around, he talked to my dad, and they were watching Minister Society or something. And he was like, my dad was like, I don't want y'all to end up like this. And it's stuff like that where I realized that it is up to us to connect the gap between the elders, us, and this young generation, because there is a communication factor that isn't there like it used to be.
Presence is so important, because especially as men, there's a lot that we hold on to and we don't speak about, and that's obvious. And so when it comes to us being an example, people can look at us like, oh, they're just like me. They're just my age, instead of having to listen to the older elder and just talk their ear off and not even take anything in. But yeah, presence is very important. It means a lot, because when you're there constantly being a presence, and not only that, leading by example, just sitting down and talking with them. Just be there, be an open ear. It makes a whole difference. I mean, it really does.
Yeah. And one thing I was thinking about when you were talking, Cynthia, about like we need those community centers again, it literally dawned on me that we're the ones that have to do it now.
Hey.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we need this, we need that, we need that. But we literally are where our parents were when they came to America and started those community centers and took that initiative to keep the community together in this like foreign land. So now we have to come in and be like, okay, we are the ones that have to take the initiative, which is crazy because I feel like mentally we're still in a place to where we think we're not there yet, the auntie uncle status. Like now we are the elders, like not the elders, but we are the adults of the community, and then our parents are the elders.
That's good, auntie.
So another comment that was mentioned was this is a problem that is like across the board, not just for South Sudanese, but it's common like in all groups of men right now at this time period.
Black men.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what they said.
The diaspora.
Yeah, across the diaspora. So it really is a problem that, I mean, if it's happening to everyone, it's factors that affect everyone, not just the South Sudanese community. I think just where we are in this day and age has a lot to do with it.
Then, I mean, I feel like that adds to the point that there has to be a systematic thing. If it's all Black men are suffering from that or have this issue, then there's something that's either culturally wrong or systematically wrong, or society, like there's something wrong with the society.
Women, like, we have everything against us. So not only are we suffering from all of those issues, we're also women, so we're paid less. We have to give birth to children and function in the workplace and also be a mother. So I do want to give grace to the men, but at the same time, if the women weren't excelling the way that they are, I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, fine. But it's a problem when the girls are still going out there and achieving.
Defying
then it's like, okay, we can talk about systematically and all these other things. But at the end of the day, if the girls are getting it done, we have to encourage the men to like, okay, now we got to catch up. Not shame them, but at the same time, encourage them through community or mentorship or whatever. But I mean, if, like you said earlier, if one group is doing well and the other group is not doing well, it's not going to work, because now the women don't have viable partners for marriage.
And that's crazy real quick, because I feel like back in South Sudan, it's the opposite. The men are excelling because society, like that's just how the society is. Like the women are, they take care of the family, and men are the ones who are working. And they have the issue of like women trying to make women match the men as far as education and jobs, because women in South Sudan are not excelling at the same amount. Not the ones that are like the village girls, at least. Men have a higher advantage as far as going to school and getting jobs, because they pay cows for women, for the girls. The girls are expected to just be wives. And then here it's like complete opposite in a way.
I'm going to have a pushback for that, because I do say that there are just as many Sudanese men that are successful, just not as many went to college. Like I always put the trade school situation into conversation. It's like education is the thing that is always, quote unquote, supposed to be put for success. But statistically, there are just as many six-figure Sudanese men as there are Sudanese women. And they just did it in a different way, which makes sense, because I mean, come on.
There's a lot of
okay, where are they at? Because we're trying to lift the girls up. That's the thing. We're trying. If there's a solution, where is it?
Yeah, go ahead and jump in there.
Go ahead.
Well, I think it's okay. So we saw the Olympics, right? We saw how we got 101 and 100, right?
Yeah.
I think that we are successful. The men are successful. They do very well. They do, right? But they're hidden, and that's the big difference between the men and the women. Or on top of that, not only they're hidden, they did other women. So it's like, what are we left with? You know what I mean? And then we decide, okay, we're going to date out too. And then bam, there's going to be no more Sudanese people.
I think my brother went to HBCU, right? And I knew every single Sudanese student at the HBCU. Like at every HBCU, if you're a Sudanese student, you're going to know all the other Sudanese students. Yep. And there's not enough of us to be like with each other, because we're all separate. And you're gonna eventually date outside. That's what sucks about being South Sudanese, is like there's such a small amount of us in every environment that we're at, because we're spread around. And if all the men are doing trades and all the women are in colleges and all that stuff, and the only college students that are men are gonna be some of the nerdy ones, right, and the athletes, and there's gonna be a different environment for these athletes. And let's be honest,
Australia.
Yeah, I also
about
have a
food.
question for Nyanwer, because you are younger. I think in your TikTok you said you were 20. Is that correct?
So young.
Yeah. So I really want to ask a question, because we are kind of like big sisters. We're a little bit older than you.
Little bit. My man. Come on.
So shady.
Not too much.
Hey, look, I've
set that
officially
one up.
become Unc.
Not too
I
much.
gotta be honest.
I set that one up.
You must.
Yeah, you did. You didn't have to. You,
No, you must crazy. It's still auntie.
Shukran,
It's
Haboba.
not giving Haboba. Hey, the disrespect is crazy on us.
Not
It's
too
okay.
much,
We have
Emmanuel.
we have wisdom. Christine.
Are we
Go ahead.
vintage? Okay.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
My question to you.
95 middle.
Enough.
Emmanuel, let
his
us
mic.
live. See, because my question is to try to help the younger generation. Okay, so like I was saying, we are older than you, and the grievance that you brought about with your TikTok is something that we're like facing right now. I really want to ask you, what are your plans? Like, do you plan on getting married, and what is that timeline for you, knowing that we're having a problem in the community with finding like eligible partners? Us being older than you, we're not married yet. We still want to be married. We want to have kids. What do you think you can do, or like your age group can do, to kind of, I guess, think ahead and prepare yourself, be able to find your partner and settle down and kind of have that figured out sooner rather than later?
So I think I do want to be married one day. Before I'm 25, I hope, and have a baby before I'm 25. But
25 right now.
Good.
Yeah, I think for us women, I think all we can do is learn from what we see. You know what I mean? And learn from our community. And we have to like look around at healthy relationships between our parents and grandparents and aunties, and see like what works and what doesn't. Right? Modes of communication, how to raise kids, household duties. You know, and you have to find someone that is on the same page as you. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have the same principles, right? So I think it might be a little bit difficult, because I know a lot of men now, they don't even want to get married anymore, right? So I think it might be difficult to find a man who wants to get married, but it's not impossible.
Right.
Are you and your friends that are like around your age group having these conversations of like, what's your timeline? Like, you know, I don't know if you're in college, but you know, like that age, like when people are still in school.
Right. So I'm in school. My friends are in school as well. And then I have another friend who's just got married and has a baby, and she's 21. Right. But she's also Congolese. So I think it might be a little bit different community, but we do have conversations and stuff and like plans for our future.
I love that.
I want to ask Edward too, because he's around that age too.
Shout out to the Congolese hip roll. They be putting in work. They be getting them babies going. Shut up.
Go ahead, Edward.
That was cooking.
Yeah, Edward, where are you at mentally? Like, I feel like I know that you want to get married and have kids,
Man.
but what is that looking like for you? That planning. For the future?
So I always think about the future every now and then while I live in the present. Of course, I'm 25 right now. Relationships are something I could see myself with a big family, 5 kids, nice house. We running in the backyard, all the good things. Of course, 5 is big. I mean, whatever my wife
possible.
wants, it's possible.
Yeah.
Healthy
Girls loving this section right now.
But yeah, so when it comes to just a long-term relationship and marriage, it's a lot to think about. And so something I've always said, I'm not, how do I word this? Right now, where I'm at in regards to relationships, I'm not going to say that I'm not ready or I don't have the time for it or I don't have the capacity. It could happen, it's just not right now. Because I know, this is just me thinking as a man, like I know I have things I need to take care of on my own individually first, and I have some things I need to work out. And I'm not saying you can't do this with someone else,
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's this road some of us may have to take sometimes.
She has to be that girl to get you distracted.
Wait, but that's my point though. It's normal for guys in their early 20s, mid 20s, especially now, to not be ready.
Yeah.
And the girl is like, she's saying by 25, she would like to find. So there's that disconnect of the men that are our age mates are not ready. So even if we're ready, a man is the one that chooses the wife who proposes marriage.
Get cooking upstairs.
Because you got to go up. Yeah, you got to date older.
There's so much. There's so much we think about.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like age. I mean, at least within like 2 years or so, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like within that range or whatever. But I know, just for me, how I think. I know that I want to make sure I'm in the best situation possible. Of course,
as you should.
It's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like even when you're with someone, you're just gonna work things out.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I'm set up for success because now it's just me and you for a long time, and I want to make sure. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. Forever, ever. And so, in that regard, of course, that's gonna be your forever friend. You're gonna learn along the way. You're gonna grow along the way. I just want to, at least before we have that start, have a set foundation. It's not gonna be perfect. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I have something set, and I'm not gonna be perfect. There's still gonna be some wrinkles and cracks here and there, but we can work on that together.
You got to figure out if the comunia is going to be your forever.
You know what I'm saying? I need.
You got to figure it out.
Comunia.
What is comunia?
Wait. What did y'all?
He made up a whole new
He made up a whole word.
I said comunia.
What is
comunia?
Comunia.
What is this new word? That's not how I say comunia.
No.
Anyway.
He's from a
We about to revoke
He's from
that
a
South
A BA is disrespectful. Hey, relax. I love my BA people.
But yeah, no.
That's how you
Comunia.
pronounce.
Look, tribalism. Look at these people.
Yeah, I need the Cedar to my mula combo. And
No, stop capping. Stop.
That's a bar.
He said, combo, mula combo with what?
Cedar, but I eat it with
No, be
roots.
real.
I
What'd
eat
you
it
say
with
earlier?
roots. Yes, I eat it with rice.
Yeah.
If there's a problem.
Wait.
What? Yeah.
Nah, but you ain't never had rice with yogurt and a little bit of sugar and milk.
Oh,
But you ain't never had that.
What
all
that's
had
Lisbeth
that.
Lebanon. Come on now.
Right, come on now.
Hey,
You are not South
Or the
Sudanese,
yogurt and the
bro. Oh my
aceta.
God.
Come
The
on,
yogurt
bro.
and the aceta with
Sweet rice.
the come on now. But anyways,
We try to make it seem like that was something new. Like, bro,
I ain't saying no new. I was seeing if y'all were of the culture. Don't disrespect.
communion.
so
Comunia.
Edward, are you
not.
going
It's
to
comunia.
are you planning to marry a South Sudanese woman?
I would not mind. What? The whole dowry, the whole 9
Oh,
yards.
that was
I
not
think,
a yes or a no.
Yes, I would love to. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, what? Listen, there is no cap in my rap. I need chocolate, baby. Stop
Okay,
playing.
period.
Like, I don't think you understand. My wedding's gonna be like a Met Gala.
Hey,
Y'all
we
are all
gonna
invited.
know.
Yes.
Wait a minute. If they offered you a contract, you down?
A contract for.
Modeling to get your extra cash while you go to school. I'm just saying.
Of course. Yeah. What?
I know.
You better get that link there.
Come on, huh?
You better get that social
on
media,
now.
brother. Show them.
Oh, okay.
Well, all right.
Sounds
well,
like he wants to be your agent.
well,
No.
Netware.
I'm
I
bad
feel
with
like-
numbers.
I feel like we kept you.
Yes,
we kept
we
you
have.
longer than we originally anticipated. But the conversation was really good. I do want to get like anything that we missed as
Yeah.
far as like the conversation about how we can date each other as the South Sudanese diaspora, how we can meet each other, the struggles. Is there anything else that you want to add to the conversation? And that goes for the panel as well.
So honestly, I just want everyone to be like with each other. You know, I don't like when our community is divided. I don't like people are tribalist to one another. You know, I want us to be a family. I want the kids to stay together. I want our parents to stay together. You know, it's not always possible because some, relationships aren't healthy, but I want us to be a community. And I don't like how divided we are.
Mhm.
And I didn't mean to offend everyone or offend men when I made my video. It wasn't even like an attack. And I understand how it's seen as an attack to the men, but that wasn't my intention. It was just my experience out here, right? So I do give all props to the good Sudanese men out there, the successful ones. You guys just aren't seen, and that's all it is. And we'd like to see more of you guys. So I want to thank all of you ladies for having me. Emmanuel, thank you. I can't see you, but I know you're there.
Yes. And I do want to ask, because we did use your clip, I really hope that the way that we used it was tasteful. I hope that you didn't feel attacked or anything like that.
No. So I was shocked. I saw it on TikTok first, and I was like, this can't be real. And then I opened up my subscriptions on my TV and YouTube, and I see my face there. And I called my sister, and then we watched it.
Aww.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay, superstar.
But it's
Okay.
okay. Like, I like that point. I like when people speak their mind. I didn't think of it as like you guys want to be rude or disrespectful. It was just your perspective, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
But it is what Thank you for having me, though.
Thank you
course,
for
thank
wanting to
you.
come on and follow up on like your video that we use. That means so much to us, and I know our viewers are going to love this, like hearing directly from you too. So
Yes.
thank you for making the time.
Yes, for sure. And thank you for sharing your perspective. We want more South Sudanese people to be open and honest about their experiences. Obviously, it doesn't have to be an attack on anyone, but I think these conversations create healing and like
good
dialogue, and we can try to figure out what the issue is. If we just stay silent and suffer in silence, then we'll never know like why we're not dating each other or why we're not, why we're doing this and that. But I feel like starting the conversation is important, and you started the conversation, whether people liked it or didn't like it. You started the conversation, and we're able to try to figure out what we can do to alleviate the issue. So we appreciate you, Nenwer, and we're gonna make sure to put your handle.
Okay, so it's Lucky London on all platforms. LUCKILONDON.
All right, thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you
Have
so
a good day.
much.
Say hi to Auntie and Uncle for us back home.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Hey, Janet, have you ever been with a Sudanese nigga, by the way? My bad. Sudanese brother.
I've dated one, but not like relationship dated, but I've like talked to.
How's that
How was
experience?
that?
It was cute.
Very cute.
Very cute. Very demure. It was cute. I don't have any quarrels with South Sudanese men. I just felt like I couldn't speak honestly to the experience because I don't actively.
I say like as people of the culture, we treat each other a lot worse than we treat anybody because we have expectations because we know you can't bullshit.
Yeah. Do y'all feel like that conversation? How do y'all feel about the conversation that we just had with her?
I think I like it a little bit better.
She got a good head on her
I
shoulders.
know she was
for
that
real.
young.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
20?
Yeah.
I would have thought she was around 24.
Yeah, she's so much more mature.
Very
She's
mature.
she's a nursing
23.
student.
Yeah.
She's a nursing student, so she is.
She
kind
should
of on
find
the path.
a love before nursing.
Oh, I want to say,
Is that what my shirt look like? That's crazy.
We got a text message on our group chat, and it was like, South Sudanese girls get their degree in sociology, and now they think that they're better than.
Hey, yo.
They're better than South
my
Sudanese.
He said associate's degree.
Really?
He said associate, so he really tried
Associates.
to.
Why would he play us like that? We get our bachelors every time, if not masters.
I mean,
Yeah,
do y'all
not even
do y'all
bachelors?
feel like, real quick before we round it out, do you feel like us women, we get our stuff together, we get a little bit of success, and now we're like, oh,
Think we're
not-
better?
Yeah, we can't date you guys no more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of men have said that. Our South Sudanese men have said
As a man who's dated women with many degrees and has been way more successful than me, I've learned real fucking quickly that dynamic could curse you, nigga. Don't play with that dynamic. That's all I'm gonna
I
say.
feel like as a not even a student, just a man in general. Like if a woman has her stuff together, wouldn't you feel like I need to come with it too or do better? Like
I'm that dude though.
it shouldn't be on some like, oh well, she got a master's degree. Like dang, like you know what I mean? Like just like I feel like you should innately want to be a better person.
Oh yeah, innately I do want to be a better person.
I don't think, because I feel like when we say successful, there's so many nuances. Like what is successful?
Right.
I don't think that South Sudanese. Well, let me speak for myself. We're not expecting a millionaire or a multimillionaire. We're just expecting like someone with a plan. And like I was saying last time, someone who has like a career or who has like a future in mind, working towards something, a game plan for you to get a program to get under. It's like, okay, I could follow this program, whatever your dreams, goals are. I feel like we could build a family around this. I don't want it to seem like our standards are like, you have to be making multiple six figures, you have to be a millionaire. I don't think that you need to have that.
Yeah.
I think that you just need to be able to take care of yourself and do basically whatever the woman is doing.
Yeah.
Someone commented and said, if you're dating people who are gang related or in the street life, then that's a reflection of your dating, like who you're dating.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can see how it could come off like, okay, so you dated a couple of South Sudanese men that are in the streets or in the street life, and now you're trying to make it a South Sudanese men issue. So that, I mean, I can see how that could be problematic, because like how some of the men are saying is like, there's successful men out there, they're just not visible and they're just
Right.
not out there. And that's completely different than saying that there's no successful South Sudanese men. So
Yeah.
I see both ways, because I mean we've experienced like I do agree that South Sudanese women are excelling more.
Yeah.
But I can see how it could come off like, yeah, this is your dating pool, this is what you're finding, and now you're making it a South Sudanese men.
Right.
And the visibility too, because even looking for, like Amanual was saying, or looking for the guys, it's hard to find South Sudan. I feel like they're not out there like that. So
we're going
and
to
I feel
Australia.
like moral of the story.
Oh, I know.
Edward needs to take his Instagram off private.
Yes.
so that they can
Can we-
see more positive.
You know what, Edward?
I have no posts. I have 0 posts. Y'all want to see nothing.
Come to death row. I got you. I got you on your debut.
All right. So any final
I can
thoughts?
help you.
Yes, final
Free.
thoughts.
Final
Oh,
thoughts.
Vaida, I wanted to ask you too the same question I asked her.
Get you
Just,
that bag.
I feel like, am I more of a big sister to Vaida than I am to
I'm
the guest?
24 though. I'm
Because
like,
Emmanuel was trying to play us earlier.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you're 24, so
I feel like it's not that far off. I feel
that's
like
what I'm
it's,
saying.
Vida's my baby brother's age.
Yeah,
No,
but
no, it's
I
not
wanted to
auntie.
ask you.
It's more like just someone that's older, like big cousin vibes.
yeah, okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not
I
auntie.
love that for us. But my question to you is the same
LOL.
is the same as hers because
Vida, technically, aren't you auntie to some of these kids?
Let her finish the
And
question.
auntie to some of the kids.
That's auntie to auntie to auntie.
I don't.
Emmanuel, please.
Let her finish the question.
Who hurt you? Anyways,
This one not dating Sudanese man.
very sassy, very
I'm
spicy.
just kidding. They're interrupted.
Yeah, I know.
Problematic. Go ahead.
But shout out to Sarah's hair and makeup one
Okay,
time.
period. One time for the
You know,
one
it's her birthday
time.
month. Okay, put some respect on her name.
Very
Isn't the look
cutesy,
giving? Please
very
comment below. Yes.
Ain't no Sudanese man get that off my birthday month.
I love
Well, can we get a
Yeah,
one time? Get into
Come
it.
on, side part.
Period. Okay, because Auntie
Mocha
wear.
mommy.
Yes.
I'm shy.
Wait, so are y'all like what's her name that was getting mad at people and blocking them for calling her auntie?
Jackie, I know.
Jackie.
Yeah, so y'all are like
goodness, you were
the
out of the
Sudanese
question.
Jackies.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, for our good sis Vaida, I was asking her, like, obviously looking back, we probably would have moved a little bit differently, knowing like kind of where we are now, kind of been more intentional. You at 24, I don't know, do you want to have kids and get married?
I do want to get married,
Mm-hmm.
and I do want to have kids. In my future, yeah, in the distant future.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we say distant, how distant, if you don't mind?
Oh my! So I'm trying to go back to school, so that is something that I also have to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like even just thinking about like location and stuff like that. So like I really want to plan my life so that I finish school, and that's gonna take 3 years. And so once I finish school, I feel like that's whenever like I'll think about like, and I get a career. I feel like that's when I'm like, okay, like if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get married and like let's have a child. But that's not something that I'm thinking for. Like hopefully this happens when I'm 30. But at the same time, I see so many examples of women being able to like go beyond that and still like
Yeah,
like they
still.
get the ring at 46 and they're thriving. So you know,
46.
Y'all have that time? Apparently not.
I was with you.
Let's bring that
all that to
just
say,
kidding.
like
46.
46.
There were
yeah.
women who getting married at 63.
Hey, good. And so like
There were women
honestly,
getting married at
like
63.
I want to have a full life, and if it
Okay,
comes,
that's
it
very
comes.
Yeah.
If it takes longer than it needs to take, I really just want to have a full life. I don't want to have a life that's dependent on having those things to be happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I don't have a number in mind, but ideally like in my 30s, I'd want to like get married and have a family and all those
That's
things.
good.
So
Because there are people who want kids but aren't good parents.
Yeah.
hello.
People want to get married.
Yeah,
Start there.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta be a
whole-
parent
yeah.
first.
Real
If-
topic.
Even you gotta be a good person before that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And my parents had me a little older in life, and I can see the difference in having older parents, the maturity level, and like the way they operate with you, because they already know who they are at that point. And I mean, that's one thing I'm looking forward to for myself. But yeah, I don't think it's something like to shame women for. But at the same time, I think for younger women in their early to mid 20s, it is something to kind of move up on the list a little bit more. When I was 22, 23, it's like, oh, like, you know, like I'm not worried. I'm not ready for that. No. But you'll be ready really, really fast, like overnight. Like you'll wake up one day and you'll be like, I'm 27. I need to.
Right.
Yeah. So finding that sweet spot.
You know, you don't want to, you know, put
That
it,
time
put
clock
it
is
off
ticking.
too long. Yeah.
I mean, but y'all know, not to be like messy or anything, but don't y'all know like some people who like had kids really early or had like got married really early,
Yeah.
and then now they're kind of like reverting, like
Oh,
aunties
yeah.
that are kind of like
Yeah.
you're doing stuff that you should have done at 20, not
Yes.
45, or so it's
Call
like,
them out, Sarah.
so it's like, but I mean, it's not their fault because they got married early and that's what the
Right.
culture told them to do, and so
Yeah.
they thought they did it right, but now it's like they lost part of their youth in a way.
Right.
So you feel like they weren't what the culture was feeling?
What do you mean?
Yeah, that joke was
Kendrick
so bad.
reference.
Oh my, not another Kendrick reference.
Again.
First of all, anyway.
My bad. Okay, my bad. That's bad joke. Bad
Oh
joke.
no, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
What else?
But we're gonna
I guess that wasn't
Yeah.
Family Matters.
Any final thoughts, Emmanuel?
My final thought is: look, live life how you want to live it. Young kids, if you want to embrace your Sudanese heritage and you want to get a Sudanese woman, find her at a young age, and then y'all build together. Because the truth of it is, like, don't let your surroundings be the defining factor of what your life is about. I saw my dad build himself up from 11 years old, having no father, then having a kid at my age right now, and saying, you know what, I'm taking them to America.
Yep.
And then he did that by himself, grinded, went to Egypt, got his money up. Then he got it through a visa and then got to the United States. So in my head, I'm like, ain't no fucking excuse.
Yeah.
The street life ain't for you. I learned real fucking quickly. I dipped my toe in that motherfucker. I said, hey, I'm a bitch. I ain't made for this shit. So don't do that.
Yeah.
So you can speak accurately to like the whole idea of like South Sudan.
ain't no accurate nothing.
Well, you could.
It was 2 seconds. I said no.
Right, but you could say like that's not for you, and this is not a
I'm a
route
bitch.
that you should take.
I'm a bitch. I said,
All right.
these are real.
Well, with that being said, I feel like that's a
all.
perfect way to end
That
the
is
show.
all.
Like, don't take that route. The
Yeah.
trapper life
Yeah.
is not for South Sudanese. I don't think it's for anybody.
No.
But it's for sure not for us.
Final thoughts from the rest of our panelists.
I would just say, in the wise words of my mom, if they can do what makes you any different. And so, in regards to that, look, we're all gonna struggle. It's life. It happens. You can't complain. Count your blessings. You woke up. You got clothes on your back. There's a roof over your head. You got food. You got water. I can keep going. There are people who don't have that. So whenever I want to complain, I always think about, you know what? There are people who don't even have a bed to lay on. People don't even have a hat. Socks. So just count your blessings.
Amen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vaida. Because
It was the socks. I'm sorry. I don't have anything more to say. I mean, I feel like everyone just summed it up so beautifully. Like, you get to choose. Like, you get to choose what type of life you have. You don't get to choose what kind of hand you're dealt, but with the options you do have, make good decisions because that's going to determine the rest of your life, really.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Especially as South Sudanese and
Yes.
diaspora. Like we're so blessed to be here, and we've been given so many opportunities, and this is even a blessing. Like even us just talking about this is a privilege, because South Sudanese people, I don't feel like South Sudanese people back home are able to talk about stuff like this because it's like the culture is already ingrained. Like this is just how it works. This is how our community works. This is how society works. But us South Sudanese here in diaspora, we have the privilege to even challenge these things. I was just telling them how like in the diaspora, it's such a privilege to even talk about stuff like this, because back home, like the standards are already set, and they're set in stone in a way. We're obviously trying to like chip away and throw away the stone, but right now it's like I don't think that these conversations are really happening prevalently back home. But we're blessed to be in diaspora to be able to like challenge certain norms and say like we don't like how South Sudanese men are doing things, or vice versa. But I don't think that's a thing that happens often, and I think I just want to say like this is a blessing to even have conversations like this, like and how lucky we are to challenge the societal norms. That says something.
Give them the power and the autonomy, because I think with our culture we tend to let our parents and let everybody else decide what happens in our lives, especially back home, especially when I have conversations with my aunts and uncles and all them that were back there. You have the power. Like, it's not that, well, it is hard, but you can just change your life if you really want to. You don't have to get married to this person. You don't have to live the life that you're living. Find yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we're also in a different situation as well. Like, there's different factors where we're living right now. Like, it's just kind of different. We're facing different struggles, different battles. So I think our situation is a little bit, I guess, I don't want to say nuanced.
It's nuanced. Go ahead.
But it is
I love that
because
word.
we're South Sudanese. We're first generation in a new country. We're kind of like the trailblazers. Like we're doing what no one has done before.
Were y'all the first generation?
So, well, like living here in America. Yeah. Because, I mean,
I'm first.
Born and lived in South Sudan, baby.
I was born there when I came here.
yeah. Like my, okay, I'll say my brother's born here. I came here at 3-4 years old. So, like, this is all I've known. So, it's just different. Yeah. And maybe they have different conversations back home just because they're living a different lifestyle, everything. So I think that factors in a lot to like what we're going through. But yeah, thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation.
This just
I
hit
hope
me.
that we can have more.
Tell them if any of them can FaceTime us or talk to us and want to be on an episode, especially the ones back home.
Oh yeah,
and they have the ability to do that.
That'd be live.
That would
give us some information. Talk to us.
That'd be live.
Oh yeah, they be in
Get
the comments.
that WhatsApp working.
They can definitely.
Let's just go.
The time zone different though. We gotta consider that.
Yeah.
I don't know what time.
Now they be cooking me on TikTok. Like they found me. They found me on TikTok. I have a lot of mutuals that are straight in Juba.
Yeah. So we could definitely do that. So if you're interested and you're in South Sudan and you want to join one of our conversations, please email ladiesofsosa@gmail.com, or you can just comment on one of our posts and we'll we can reach out to you.
Also the Kenyan ones, especially y'all.
Oh, the ones in Kenya too. Anywhere in the diaspora. Honestly, we would love to have a conversation with everyone. So, but thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow, like, subscribe, and we love you guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yay.